What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. And you know, one thing is for sure when you see me, you know, the Motor City Cats. We back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. We got a packed show for you today. Hopefully we will be joined. We will be joined by some guests today. Um, Part of the LNU fam. We're going to be breaking down the NFL draft, having our reaction to it. What did we think? What do you think? We're going to be getting all of those things squared away. Let me take a time out to say what up, though, to everybody in the chat. What up, though? Chicken Nugget King, you want to come through, man? Come through. I sent the link. What up, though? Lisa Di Lorenzo. What up, though? Tactical Sport. What up, though? Just a Fan, and all the other people that will be coming in a little bit later. So, before we get started, what did y'all think? Put your draft grades in to the chat. Give me your A's, your B's, your C's, your D's, your F's, whatever it is that you want to say. What did you think personally about the latest draft of the Detroit Lions? We're just going with the draft. I don't know if we're going to be talking about the UDFAs. I am doing the UDFA videos. Shout out to Lions Syndicate for giving me the idea to do those. I've never really done UDFA videos before, so I'm doing them. I got my crack team on it, you know, my scouting department. So I've done the first two already. I did what's his name? Okay, I don't even remember his name. The running back from Oh Hell No. And then Jacoby, what's his name? Kenny James. Okay. I'm not gonna pretend that I knew these guys before the draft process came in. They're UDFAs. I think next coming is my man Jackson Meeks, who is, as you guys know, the nephew of Zadarius Smith. So I think he's going to be my next one, but I'm not 100% sure. So Josephine says, guests or ghosts? I hope they're not ghosts. They're supposed to be guests. He says C+ to B- because almost no impact players for this year. Ooh, foreshadowing. I know somebody is going to have that opinion up here. I don't know if it's going to be me or if it's going to be someone else, but it's a fair assessment, Josephine. It's a fair assessment. There were no players that jumped off the page. Most of us were obviously looking for edge rushers and things of this nature, and we got one in the 6th round. Don't know if that's exciting. Happy for the bro. You know, my kids are somewhat Egyptian. I don't know, would you call them a third or a quarter or whatever. They got a lot of stuff floating around in there. So, you know, shout out to the homie. You know what I'm saying? He's from Egypt. Shout out. Yeah, so happy for him and everything. It is what it is. Chicken Nugget King is here, so we will throw him on in here. Let's see. We're gonna have to have another one. Add to the stage. There we go. What up, though, Chicken Nugget King?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? LNU, we in the building, baby. What's good?
Not much, but we're gonna get into it. Hold on, let me turn my volume down a bit. All right. Yeah, it's kind of killing me there. So what's going on? How was your weekend, man?
My weekend was pretty eventful to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, um, I really feel like that this draft. I understand we got to get. Do we got to do grades right now of the draft, or just overall
I
our
think
draft?
we're going to do grades. We're waiting for Easy to get here. I know he's supposed to be on his way. But we're probably going to do grades towards the end. So we won't spoil it too much.
So
We
I'll
will
definitely
give the
save
people
mine.
some
I'll save mine.
things. Yeah, we'll save them. We'll save them. I don't know if Anthony is going to be here or not. I know it's pretty late for him. What was it like? It's about 12, almost 12:30 right now. You text Easy and make sure he's coming, bro.
I mean, but that 3 day draft was. I just hope things pan out. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I didn't bother with the third day of the draft. Because first of all, it comes on at like 2 a.m. for me.
Right.
And my son had a soccer game. So I had to be up to take him. So I wasn't gonna do that. And there was a trade. There was a trade that happened on day 2. And when that trade happened, I kind of checked out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of checked out.
Yeah, the Isaac Tesla, all the way up to 70.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not. I mean, I understood to get the wide receiver because we do needed an X wide receiver, but all the way up to 70 though, like, I don't know, man. I mean, they say he could have been a 5th rounder, but either way, you went up, to the 3rd round to go get a 5th rounder, supposedly. I mean, talented wide receiver, runs a 4.4, 6'4", got great hands, hella great speed. I mean, he can play, and he's a hometown kid. Can't take that away from him. But being drafted at the 3rd round while being projected as a 5th, that really stands out to me and you. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what he's going to do. We haven't seen him play, on the field, here yet. And we haven't got that chance. I mean, he will show us what he can do. He can bring the action and the energy to it. But we want to see if the kid can live up to the hype out of that round. You know what I'm saying? If he can live up to the occasion. I mean, he does say he plays like a Puka Nacua. So, I mean, we just want to see what happens with him.
So I'm trying not to say too much, but I guess if we look at the projections, we can't. I don't know that the projections are extremely accurate, and the reason I say that is because people were projecting Jared Ivey to maybe be available to us at pick number 60. Jared Ivey did not get drafted. So he went from a potential 2nd round pick, the end of the 2nd round, to not being drafted at all. So that did give me a little bit of pause, and that gave me a little bit of, I guess, enthusiasm if we're talking about our last pick. Well, not our last pick, our 6th round pick, where we got the edge rusher in the 6th round.
Ahmed.
Yes. Ahmed. And his name is Ahmed. I'm teaching y'all how to pronounce his name today. It's Ahmed Hassanain. As I said, shout out. My kids are somewhat Egyptian. I don't know what percentage you would say.
I think he came out of Cairo. He was born and raised in Cairo, moved to California.
Yes.
didn't understand, English and whatnot, but he learned English. Didn't get a chance to play football until, a coach gave him a good look and then said, okay, you know what? We can do something here with this kid. Like, he's got the
Right.
right size, he's got the right motor, he understands the game, he's willing to sacrifice out there on the field and make plays. That's the best thing
Right.
about him. And he is what Dan Campbell likes. Guys that are gritty, guys that are tough, guys that have that 6'2", 6'3" frame that can run outside the edge and get to a quarterback and get to a running back. That's his game.
Mhm.
He could stop the run, he could stop the pass, he could do everything that you need him to do. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I like the pick. I think that's definitely a Detroit type of pick right there, and you got to like it.
I don't have a problem with the pick at all. I have I have a problem waiting to address what I believe was our biggest need. So he's going to be here in like 10, 15 minutes. So we might as well start talking about stuff because we can't stall for that long.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
my
But I did
problem
speak with
with
his brother though.
okay, what
Spoke with
does
him.
brother have to say?
His brother just like his brother is excited to see him land here. He prayed, like literally prayed that his brother would land to the Detroit Lions. Like he's literally hoping for it and can't wait to see what this kid can do with his team.
Mhm.
And he loves to see his brother shine. He loves to see
Mhm.
his brother rise to the occasion. And he wanted this to be the right destination for him. And I even told him, I
Mhm.
said, look, well, brother, this is the right place for him. We're going to for you. The thing about Detroit is that we love our players, we get behind our players, and we love our team.
Mhm.
And you're welcome to the pride. And that's the things that I told him, in our conversation. We had a great combo and we definitely chatted it up. And he's, a great dude, and a great, mindset for teaching his brother, how football is and how, things are in the game itself.
Yeah, like I said, shout out to Ahmed Hassanain and his brother. They the homies.
Yeah, shout out to Corey.
His brother's name is Corey.
Yes.
How?
Look, look, I ain't trying to go too deep far fetched, but like I said, big shout out to him.
uh,
Definitely respect the fact that he followed me back on IG. I followed him back, and
yeah.
he's definitely a cool dude. Like I said, cool dude, great conversation. He's just looking forward to being here. He can't wait to see the season and how it goes, and he's
Mhm.
excited to be here. No, definitely excited to be here.
Yeah. And like I said, don't don't misinterpret, don't misunderstand. I don't have a problem with the Ahmed Hassanain pick. Uh he had lots of production at Boise State. I know he had 22 sacks,
22
38
sacks
tackles
in
for
like two
loss.
seasons,
Yeah.
2, 3 seasons
So
like that.
yeah, so it was 2 seasons, I believe. So he had the production. I don't have a problem with that. Um Max Crosby was drafted in the fourth round, and they did, everybody that was an impact player that was drafted in day three, they were tweeting out, and I think the NFL had something to do with it. It was like some initiative. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter when you were drafted, that's just that you were drafted, and then there's like hashtag day three. So that's fine. I have
Right?
no problem with that. But again, I'm not trying to give away all the spice, but
I
but
mean, look, look,
what I'm saying is this: the pick that we made for Ahmed is not I don't care who you pick in the sixth round. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like when the sixth round came, oh my God, you should have picked this guy. No, it's the sixth round, right? So you're expecting developmental players, you're hoping, especially guys like Ahmed and his story, you hope that he can make the team and make an impact, right?
mm-hmm, right.
But we're hoping and wishing, again, this is nothing against Ahmed. We're hoping and wishing at a position like edge where we needed help. Marcus Davenport, again, I know I'm branded the Marcus Davenport hater, but I'm just being real about his health. I've never liked it. I've never believed in it because it hasn't been proven to be anything that you can like or believe in. It hasn't been proven to be anything that you can count on. I've gone on record many times. I'm saying I want Marcus Davenport to get every cent of that $4.75 million because that means if he gets every cent of it, he hits all of his incentives as far as playtime, production, whatever his incentives are. I hope he hits all of them, every single one of them, because if he does that, then that means that our team has excelled because he has been able to be part of it for the entire season or the vast majority of the season. And also, hopefully, he'll be available for the playoffs and he'll help us to win a Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, and there can be moves made. There can be more moves that they make. Zadarius Smith could come back. There could be cuts. There could be some trades. There could be a lot of things that happen. Brad Holmes isn't done. He's not. Okay. But my fear, just like it has been for the entire offseason, just through the entire draft process, was if we cannot get to the quarterback, then what is the outlook of the season? Especially after we learned that Lamar Jackson is coming to town.
Right.
Jalen Hurts is coming to town. Patrick Mahomes is coming to town. I'm not saying that they're coming to Detroit. I'm just, when I say coming to town, I mean, they're going to meet us on the football field, whether it's in Detroit or whether it's in Baltimore or Philadelphia or Kansas City. And I believe all of the games are like away. It's just like we've got this murderous row of quarterbacks, and most of them are going to be away games. They're not going to be home games. Joe Burrow is coming to town, right? So, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers have nobody, So if they, if they get Aaron, nobody cares. Kirby will send them back into whatever. He'll probably pick them off 2 more times. But that's the thing. We've got these upper echelon quarterbacks that are coming in to either Ford Field or we're going to see them wherever the games are going to be played. And will we be able to disrupt them enough to prevent them from killing us? Right? We're also now we are depending on Terrion. I defended Terrion Arnold, and I love Terrion Arnold even more because of his draft speech when he said a year ago, like today, I almost cried because I thought it was going to be a Packer. He did that in Green Bay, and I appreciate you, much love. Okay. And I defended Terrion more than a lot of people. A lot of people were down on Terrion. And as a former cornerback, I understand what Terrion needs. He just needs to trust his technique. He needs to get that's pretty much it. He needs to trust in his technique and he needs to get his head around. When he trusts in his technique, he's going to start grabbing because he knows that he's in phase and he knows that he's in coverage and he's going to be able to stick with the receiver. And when he gets his head around, he's going to start getting interceptions. Right. So those 2 things are all that he needs to do. He was very sticky in coverage. He was always in phase. He wasn't getting burnt like Jeff Okudah. None of that stuff was happening. And then the people that were comparing Terrion Arnold to Jeff Okudah, you're crazy. You need to smack yourself. Go back and watch Jeff Okudah on the field. That man was garbage. Okay. He was hot garbage. That's not Terrion. All right. Terrion is very good. He's got very good coverage skills. Okay. Little handsy, little grabby. That's because he didn't trust his technique. It's big boy football. He's in the NFL. Right. Everyone wants to talk about Alabama and the SEC and all these things. That's great. But when you get in the NFL, that game ratchets up. It doesn't matter where you went to school. Okay. But now we have to have a big jump from him to be able to, if we can't get to the passer, then he's going to be on an island. Remember what happened last time we played Lamar Jackson and he had 10 seconds to throw every play. Right. This is the fear that I have. Right. And when we last played Lamar Jackson, guess who was on our team?
Mm-hmm.
Aiden Hutchinson,
Mm-hmm.
Malik McNeil, Alex
Yep.
Anzalone, Derek Barnes, all the guys that we already have, right? And he still had 10 seconds to throw every play. And we got run out of the building. Go ahead.
Yeah. For us to get ran out the building that game, 38-6, we didn't even have anybody opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. We had all the time in the world
Exactly.
to go trade somebody that could be opposite of Hutch that could bring that pressure to a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson can get the ball out 10 seconds quickly, any given minute. So, but that being said, we needed to make trades for an edge. It didn't matter if it was for a second round, third round, whatever. If we can get a starting quality edge opposite of Hutch, we'll be fine. I don't mind Ahmed just being a rotational piece. He could work fine in a rotational area of being an edge. But if you bring back Zadarius Smith, you're bringing back the looks of having Aiden Hutchinson and Z the way you wanted to see that. You wanted to see the action out there, getting to the quarterback and bringing the pressure, bringing it right there, straight to the fire. And Marcus Davenport, I don't think he's going to fire on all cylinders just because of this four-year, like not 4 year, but 1 year, $4 million, $0.75 million deal. I don't think he's going to fire on cylinders at all if he's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? If he's not healthy, toss him to the trash can. Let him go. Nothing against him, but it's just that if you're not healthy, then we're not going to get productive, results. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is after that.
Yeah. And what up, though, Kurt Steele? So Kurt Steele said he doesn't think that Marcus Davenport is going to be the starter. I think you said you believe that Levi Ozarike is going to be the starter.
Me?
No, Kurt. I
Kurt?
think he said that. I think he said that before because he said Marcus. He doesn't believe Marcus Davenport is going to be the starter. Hold on, let me get this.
Well, let's just say if Levi does start, then what are we looking at? Are we looking at hurries? Are we looking at pressures? Are we looking at pass deflections off the edge from Levi? Are we looking at that? Are we looking to stop the run game from Levi? I mean, Levi can do it, but we just would need like one accountability thing from him just to get to the quarterback. Simple. Like it doesn't matter if it's Levi, Z, Ahmed, or any of the guys that are on the 89 roster right now, which is one player is needed for the 90-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to make a play.
Mm-hmm.
You make a play, you impact the game. You make a play, you impact the game. That's what happens when you're a defense. Your defense turns into the offense for you when you need clutch plays. Like it's simple mathematics to the game of football. You don't win championships without defense. You don't win championships without your players stepping up and producing. You don't win championships without one piece. You need another piece. You got to add it to a puzzle. You got all the ingredients that's there. You know what to do with it. Work it. Play great defense. Get stops. Shut them down on third down. Get a pick. Pass deflect. Whatever it is. All you got to do is just play defense. You seen what happened in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. I mean, Terrion definitely will step up. I'll take it easy on him. It was his rookie year. But when you have a secondary that needs help and depleted defensive line that didn't even have much health, what are you going to do? What are you going to expect? There's goose egg. There's like literally goose egg of sacks of stopping the run game. They're having a field day with getting through the middle. Ali McNeil's not there. They're having a field day with getting over the pass. Who's not there? Amik Robertson ain't there. Robertson, excuse me if I messed up the name. Robertson ain't there. There's literally Carlton Davis. He's not there, even though he's not here no more. It's literally players that are 22 down on IR that are not coming back in that season to help out and get us the productive plays we needed to seal the deal and get us to a championship. We needed them healthy. Even Aiden Hutchinson, and those injuries cost us. The coaches didn't focus. We can blame everything all and above.
Mhm.
But when you're down 22 on IR and still get a 15-win season, somebody from the bench, somebody from the practice squad has to
Mhm.
step up and become the star. Point blank.
Yeah, all that's well and good, and that's my point is not that we don't have a good roster. My point is not we don't have a great, fantastic roster. My point is that with the competition that we're going to be facing this year, the quarterback has to end up on the turf.
Yes. He has to be hit.
Right. Levi Onwuzurike, even and this was my question because Kurt said he doesn't believe that Marcus Davenport is going to be the starter. So if we said that this roster that we have right now, minus 21 of them, okay, because we got 90 men right now, so we got to get down, we got to remove 21 players.
Right.
Huh?
I said, right.
Right, because we get the practice squad and all that stuff. All right, so 53-man roster, then you get to 69 with the practice squad. So we got to remove 21 people. So let's say we're removing 21 people and we're going in with whatever 69 guys we got. Who on that roster is better than Marcus Davenport on the other side of Hutch? Because Marcus Davenport's talent is not up for debate. Marcus Davenport's ability to affect the game is not up for debate. Right. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, right? He's quick,
Mhm.
he's powerful. He does everything that you want him to do, but he doesn't do it enough because he's not on the field enough. So if we're saying that he's not going to be the starter, who is going to be the starter? That's my question. Who's going to be better than him and more productive than him when he's on the field? Is it Levi Onwuzurike? The answer is no. Is it Josh Pascal? The answer is no.
Mm-mm.
Is it El Quadin Muhammad? The answer is no. Right? Is it Ahmed Hassanain? Probably not. So this is the issue with not addressing the edge rusher. Now, here's another question. I'll
I
probably
mean,
wait till
but you got the
Easy gets
point
here to
though.
answer this question. Mhm.
But you got the point though. It's like when you're playing to make a stop, there's durability. You got to have
Mhm.
good durability. That's the one
Mhm.
thing that matters out of being an edge. Durability. If you ain't got
Mhm.
durability, what's the sense of being, a starting edge? I
Right.
mean, like I said, it's all about durability at this point. Did JP play good in certain games? Yes. Did Levi
Mhm.
play good in certain games? Yes.
Mhm.
But the durability just comes to question. If any of those guys go down, who's willing to step up and fill the void? Doesn't matter if it's starter or like off the bench. Somebody's got to come in and fill the void.
Mhm.
Point blank. I mean, I feel your point. I understand that. Me and you know it's durability when it comes to defense. Don't matter the position on defense, durability.
Uh, just shout out Mr. Detroit City. He has become a super duper JMO hater, and the guy just said, "I'll put it up for everybody to see because this is crazy." This is what he said.
No way. No way. Nuh-uh. Can I respond to that?
Go ahead, please. I've done it
Okay.
enough.
Okay. Listen. Jamison Williams, for the last time, is not getting traded. You don't want to trade your wide receiver too. Who is out there that you can get to be your wide receiver too? I'll wait. I'll wait. That can light it up like JMO. JMO just got like 1,000 yards, rushed 1,000 yards receiving this year. Like, are we like literally are we like literally just like in bizarro land right now? Like, come on, bro. Like, you cannot trade a guy that could give you quality speed on the offense. You have Amon Ra, Tim Patrick, Isaac Tesla. If he, basically, I don't know if he could make the squad because it's definitely going to be a challenge. Then you have Sam Laporta, Jameer Gibbs, who can definitely get out of the backfield. and literally work like a slot receiver. You have every single speed that's there. J-Mo is a wide receiver too. Who could be your wide receiver one? You tell me. You got your wide receiver two that could definitely make a play. You need a wide receiver one. Why would you want to trade your wide receiver two when you can't find a wide receiver two that can match that? You need it. You need your wide receiver two just like you need your wide receiver one. There is no wide receiver one without a wide receiver two. There is. There is no way.
Yeah, I think most of this is just trolling me because the last time we did the Jameson Williams stream and we were talking about it, Mr. Detroit City was pretty upset about me saying that J-Mo wasn't going to get traded. And then after the stream, or like maybe a day or two later, the 5th-year option got picked up. So
yeah,
I think he's feeling some type of way about that. But shout out Mr. Detroit City, man. You're always welcome. Make sure you resubscribe. You didn't have to
shout
leave.
out to him. Big shout out to him. But you don't trade your wide receiver too. That's like trading your shooting guard on your offense on basketball. You don't trade your shooting guard. You need your shooting guard. You don't.
Keitho says, let's hold Davenport out into the playoffs. I'm down, bro.
I'm down with that too. I'm down with that too. If he's injured and can't play the last few weeks of the game.
He's not injured yet. He's coming back, but I think we need to keep him in bubble wrap. Break glass in case of emergency and keep him fresh until the playoffs. And just don't play him during the regular season. That's fine. I don't, because if he plays during the regular season, he might get injured and not be available for the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm down with that, Keitho, 100%. Let's see, Bo Booth. What up, though, Bo Booth? Yeah, he says, hey, Chef, it's been a long time since I saw you. Great to hear you again. Hey, you too, Bo Booth. Come, subscribe, Motor City Cats.
Big shout out and big shout out to my guy Kurt Steele, man. Big shout out to him.
Yeah. Come through, Kurt. Yeah, Keitho says exactly. Keep them in bubble wrap. For sure. All right, let's get into some of these picks. So the first pick, we had Tyleik Williams. Okay. There are some things. I got a bit of a hot take, and I'm gonna save it to Easy Gets here. But
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, I gotta really pay attention to what I'm saying now. It's an injury argument, but the Tyleik Williams pick, obviously, when I first initially saw it, wasn't happy with it. A lot of people that could get to the passer were still on the board. Mike Green situation. Mike Green allegedly went to the Shannon Sharp School of Journalism, allegedly. So there were allegations. For those of you that don't know, there were assault allegations. He had one in high school, which led to a zero tolerance policy at, I think he was at Virginia Tech. Was he at Virginia Tech or Virginia? I think he was at Virginia first. Okay. So he had an allegation in high school. And then when he got to Virginia, he had an allegation. So there was a zero tolerance policy for him already in place. So he had to leave Virginia. And that's how he wound up at Marshall. And it is my understanding that during the process, the pre-draft process, teams weren't buying his explanation as to what happened. Obviously, he denied the allegations, but the teams weren't buying it. This is why he slid down all the way. I think it was the third round that he slid to, the end of the third round. The Ravens drafted him. So that's what that was. But you also had Jihad Campbell, who's from Philly, by the way. who was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Jihad Campbell is such a versatile player. He could have helped you out in every phase of the defense. He could have helped you out on the line, get into the passer, right? He had a little bit of a weakness playing against the run. He could get washed out and sucked out of his gap. But that's something that you coach up and you work on. So Jihad Campbell was there. He could have helped you get into the passer. He could have helped you stop the run. He could have helped you in coverage as well, right? Playing some zone coverage. I think he also had a little bit of decent man coverage ability, so he definitely could have helped you out against the tight ends. You had Donovan Ezeraku. Again, if you're looking at Donovan Ezeraku, and now finally I'm ready to concede that the Detroit Lions, Brad Campbell and Dad Holmes, Brad Campbell, okay, because we put them together. All right. So the Detroit Lions with Brad Campbell will not be drafting guys who are speed rushers, guys who are under 260 pounds. They're just not going to do it, even though, according to I forget who it was, a guy that's really plugged into the draft. According to him and others, the Detroit Lions did a lot of work on speed rushers. You had a guy like Josiah Stewart who was projected to be that kind of guy. He's a Sam, and he ran a 4.8. It didn't test well, but obviously it doesn't matter what kind of speed you run in testing and at the combine. It matters what you do on the field. As we see, Amon-Ra St. Brown ran a really slow 40, but you wouldn't consider him to be slow on the field. That was one of the things with what's his name? Was it Jacoby Keeney James, the guy that we drafted or we signed out of UMass, the wide receiver. His time was a 4.37, but apparently he plays a little bit slower than he runs off the field, right? So we don't care about how you run off the field as long as you play fast. And Josiah Stewart played fast. And everybody thought that the Detroit Lions were going to be drafting Josiah Stewart because the last person that they met with 3 times and all the allotted times that they had to meet with him was Sione Vaki. Now, maybe they were waiting for Josiah Stewart and thought maybe he would fall to the 5th round or something. But of course, the Rams drafted him. Just like they stole Jared Verse from us last year. So it is what it is. So for this reason, with all these people that were still on the board, and I'm not counting Josiah Stewart in that. I was giving an example of the type of guys who we're probably not going to ever draft again. You know, James Houston was probably the last one. Yeah, I wasn't extremely thrilled with the pick, especially even less thrilled with the pick after hearing Brad Holmes break down the pick and how they talked about how similar he was to Aleem McNeil. And even when he was talking to him on the phone and talking to him about, are you ready to be a Detroit Lion? He didn't have a lot of emotion. He was just even keel. And that's like the same when I talked to Aleem. He was the same way a few years ago. And, you know, when I gave him his contract extension, congratulating him on the contract extension, he was like, yeah, it's cool. Thank you. You know, it's like, it's eerily similar. And I'm like, so we drafted 2 of the same guy. Okay, cool. What did you think about the pick?
You know,
what up, though, LM?
Yeah. What I want to say is, like, with that pick, me and you, we watched that first round. Mm-hmm. We saw guys slip and fall from, you know, James Pierce to Mike Green to, you know, Devin Onwuzurike over to the Cowboys. Literally got drafted 44th pick. You know, we done seen speed guys, edge guys go left from right from left in that draft. But for us to go and get a guy who's 334 pounds and dang near 6'3" and can work the interior, and by the way,
drop back in coverage at nose tackle, knocking down the bat and batting down the ball. It's literally a game of him doing that on, against Notre Dame. So even if you're getting the same kind of traits, the same kind of work, like Lee McNeil, you're definitely going to love that because he's going to learn a lot from DJ Reader and Lee McNeil on how to play, the interior more of power. You know what I'm saying? He's going to play through that with power, not just finesse, but with power. And I like the fact that we selected him. I think he's going to turn a few heads around. Did we want to edge in the first round? Yes, but he's going to turn some heads around. It's just like the Jahmyr Gibbs pick, different position, but when you think of it, we're taking a running back at 12. No one takes running backs at 12. We take a defensive tackle at 28. No one wants to take a defensive tackle at 28. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn some heads around, and we're going to get people to believe in it, that it was worth taking at 28, because these guys don't really see in the position. They see players that could get down and dirty and play ball. That's it. Get down and dirty and play ball. That's their whole thing. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, that's their thing when they see guys like that. Get down, dirty, and play ball. We want speed, we gonna get it offensively. We want finesse and power, we gonna get it on defense. That's the whole thing. That's the things that they look at.
Right. I think that there's a very different philosophy, the way that they look at the game and the way that we look at the game. And obviously we're fans. Okay. Some fans have played the game before. Some fans haven't played the game before. We are fans and we're going to react to things. So when people come in and be like, oh, are you Brad Holmes? Are you the GM? No, I'm not saying that I know better than Brad Holmes. I'm not saying that, I could do the job better. You'll never hear me say this. I can do the job better than Brad Holmes and he needs to be fired. And if anybody clips that, I didn't make sure you put the whole context. I didn't say that. Okay.
Hey, make sure you didn't say that wrong. Don't put that on NFL Network. Don't put that out there on ESPN, FS1. Don't get my man sued. Okay.
Right.
You don't need it.
But when we look at what's necessary, when we look at the other teams that we compete against,
right?
My thing is this. Someone mentioned Ndamukong Suh and Nick Fairley when you're talking about Aleem McNeil and Tyleik Williams. No, sir. No, we're not doing that. And Ndamukong Suh was on a different level. Okay, but here's one thing, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ndamukong Suh was definitely, he's a Hall of Famer. We know that for sure. Okay. He was top two defensive tackle in the league, and he wasn't number 2. All right. So we already know that about Suh. And Fairley and Suh were, kind of different body types, different players. If Aleem McNeil and Tyleik, they're pretty much the same player. So you can't even make that comparison. My thing is this. If you are double teaming both Tyleik and Aleem, then yes, you're going to free up the edges to get to the quarterback. As a rookie, if you put Tyleik on the same side, if you put him next to Hutch, as a rookie, who do you think that NFL offensive coordinators are going to send help for? Are they going to send help for this rookie, or are they going to send help to Hutch? They're probably going to send help to Hutch. So is he going to alleviate Hutch getting double teamed, to triple team? No. Now, if he can show enough pass rushing chops to get through the middle and create interior pass rush pressure, then that's good. But that's also something he can do, but something he's not known for. The same as DJ Reader. DJ Reader can do that. DJ Reader got you 3 sacks last year. Aleem McNeil had 3.5, and then DJ Reader had 3. From our starting defensive line that was on the team when we started the season, not named Zadarius Smith, those guys were the second and third leading sack getters. Aleem McNeil with 3.5, DJ Reader with 3. Right? And obviously Zadarius Smith came in the middle of the season at the trade deadline, and he got 4. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a fundamental difference in the way that we see the need. They don't see or prioritize getting to the passer for whatever reason. They prioritize stopping the run, which 100% I understand why you would prioritize stopping the run, but why overlook the thing that's going to make your entire defensive line dominant is for you to have a bookend on the other side of Hutch, right? Because now if you say, all right, we got, and this is why if you bring Zadarius Smith back, then you've completed the entire puzzle. You have Zadarius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson on the edges. So if you are Lamar Jackson, you're going to have to push really wide outside to get around these guys. Okay. And Lamar Jackson can do it because he runs a 3-flat 40. But, so he's going to be able to do that. But the pressure coming up the middle, now you can't just double team everybody. You got to pick your poison. And when you pick your poison and you double team one person, you've got 3 other people that can get to the passer, and then they're going to be able to disrupt that play. If you don't have that, Aleem McNeil's not coming back in the beginning of the season. He's going to miss 6 to 8 games, right? He's projected to miss the first 6 games, and we'll see what his health is like if he's able to come back for game 7 or game 8. Okay. So now you've got DJ Reader and you got Tyleek, and he's going to learn from DJ Reader. Okay. But again, DJ Reader is a run stopping nose tackle, right? He is that type of player. So now if you've got those 2 types of players together next to each other, where's your push coming from? Okay. Mm-hmm. You can't double team both of them. So maybe they'll be able to generate consistent interior push. Who knows? We'll have to see how they're going to be deployed. Okay. But if you don't have interior defensive if you don't have consistent interior defensive push, then Hutch is going to be overworked again. Because on the other side of him, if you have Levi Onwuzurike, okay, if you want to tell me Levi Onwuzurike can consistently beat one-on-ones, then why did he have 3 half sacks in 17 games? Which is a total of 1.5 sacks.
Ouch. Yeah,
so
I understand now. I understand where you're going. I understand where you're going now. I do. Mm-hmm. I do. But like with Tyleek Williams, I mean, coming out like in football, this dude was like a 4-star like recruit going into college. And a lot of people feel like 4-star recruits are not good players. They feel like they're just underdeveloped or they're not great enough to fit, in football at all. But when you're a 4-star recruit, anything is possible. You could work your way up, make plays, and listen to the coaches, and keep on going to film study and understanding where your position is and getting where you fit in. See, the dude literally went into college as like a true freshman with 16 tackles and 5 sacks in 2021. Then as a sophomore, he had like 21 like tackles and 1 sack. So from those 2 years, 1 year he had a hell of a year, and then the next year he had some good tackles but only 1 sack. So with the one-on-ones in that fraction, you got to pick your poison with any of those tackles from that front 7. If you go one-on-one with one of them, somebody's going to open up and get to the quarterback. Like you said, you open it up, that's when it's free game. It's free game for Z. It's free game for Hutch to work, especially working in that interior.
Right. Let me address this. Bobu says, stop the run, collapse the pocket, getting another edge that can do it all as Hutch does is not a slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk, but at least you in the competition.
Oh yeah.
It's not a slam dunk, but at least you are in the competition. You are preparing for the dunk, right? If you get somebody else just like Hutch on the other side, you're in the game, right? You going up. You might put it between your legs. You might do a 360. You might do a reverse. You might do a double clutch. It's all good. Whatever you attempt to do, at least you're attempting it, right? You're not like LeBron James who just won't enter the dunk contest. You're not like that. That's not what's happening. Okay.
Hey,
Right now,
that's the jab. That's the jab at LeBron. Now you know his lawyers might call you, right?
Well, hey, they can call me. They won't get nothing. But that's where we are right now. We're not entering the competition, right? We need to enter the slam dunk competition, but we're entering the 3-point competition. It's a difference, right? Or we're entering the skills competition. We're like, we're not gonna dunk. But I'm not saying Tyreek is not a good player. Okay, this is not what I'm saying. The players that we got, okay, every player that we got. If we're talking about Tyreek, we're talking about Tate Ratledge. You're talking about Tesla. You know, all of these are good players. All of these are good football players who love the game, who have the drive and the conviction and all this other stuff. That's cool. But as Just a Fan said, he gave the draft a C+ to a B- because there were no difference makers picked. And while there are people, or while there are teams picking difference makers, I feel like we picked the guys that were solid and they fit a philosophy, and hopefully the philosophy is good enough to get us past 15-2, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you got to, and this is why, you know, a lot of people, they'll talk about 15-2. 15-2 is a great record. It's the best record we've ever had as a franchise. Nobody's poo-pooing 15-2. But if you went 10 straight years, 15-2, and you weren't going to get a Super Bowl in those 10 straight years, would you care about 15-2? I don't think you would, right? If you go 9-8 and you win a Super Bowl, you don't care about you losing 8 games in the regular season.
You know,
all you care about is the fact that you hoisted that Lombardi at the end of the season. So 15-2 is cool. 15-2 is awesome. 15-2 was a great ride. It was a wild ride. You know, it was damn near every Monday was a victory Monday. I stopped changing my thumbnails because it just said, I just left it Victory Monday because it was just gonna be a Victory Monday. We only had 2 that weren't. Right. So I stopped even making that change. It was no longer it was like a foregone conclusion. All right, the Lions won again. Okay. But did the Lions win a Super Bowl? No. Did the Lions get to a Super Bowl? No. So if, as a fan of the football team, right, because we're all fans here, and this is why we spend so much time talking about the team, we love the Detroit Lions. If I didn't love the Detroit Lions, I wouldn't be up here. Right.
Right.
I'm a Pistons fan. I didn't watch basketball for however long, right? I saw the bad boys win their championships. I'm not going to be up here talking about the Pistons. I am a Tigers fan simply because it's the team in Detroit that plays a sport that I don't give 2 damns about. I don't like baseball. I know that's a hot take for some of you. I hate baseball. I cannot stand baseball. However, I'm a Tigers fan because that's the team that plays in the city that I'm from. Do I care about the Tigers? Absolutely not. Okay. Because I don't care about the sport of baseball. All right. Used to be a big Red Wings fan until their 25-year stretch ended, and it just took a lot out of me. So you're not gonna see me talking about Pistons. You're not gonna see me talking about Red Wings. You're not gonna see me talking about Tigers. I'm not tapped in to those teams like I'm tapped into the Lions. Right? I get up. See, I'm in Australia, right? I get up at 3:00 in the morning to stream games in the beginning of the season that come on at 1:30. That come on at 1 p.m. At the beginning of the season, these games will be on at 3 a.m. and I'm getting up and I'm giving my opinion and we're doing the play-by-play and all that stuff. So yeah, we are fans of this team. So this is why we talk about it and we react in a certain way. And everybody's not going to have the same opinion. Justin Fan says, "Hate baseball, you maniac." Yeah, I can't stand baseball.
I mean, it's 9 innings. I mean, you're gonna want to sleep through that. No disrespect, but you're gonna want to sleep through that. You're gonna want to take a nap. But you know, for real, like we love our team. You know, the team love its fans, and we love our team, and we, you know, represent Detroit to the fullest. You know, no matter the team, and you know, for our team in our city, we're just blue collar. It meshes well, and when you're a Detroit Lion, you got to bleed blue. You know, Michigan Wolverine, pun intended. But like I said, bleed blue and silver, and you love your team through it all. 15 wins was great, but this season it's going to be a challenge. Look at the list of teams we got. Outside games, some inside. We got to be ready for that challenge. It's up to all of us. It's not just only up to the team. It's up to all of us to be ready for that challenge. You know, and set the bar high as fans. Come up, go out, show it off. Show that you're proud of your team. That's what real fandom does. And you know, back to the draft at the matter at hand, right? When you're a general manager, it's right to draft fundamental. You don't just draft just to draft and look at mock drafts and look at Mel Kiper's draft and think, oh, that's great. That's great. We can use that to our board. No. Brad Holmes, he loves the draft opposite because he likes football players. He loves football players. He breathes in football. So when he breathes in football and he loves football, he's going to look for guys that love football the same way he loves football. It's all about doing it from bottom to top. Look at Jack McCloskey, Pistons reference. Dude built this team from the bottom and said, we're going to do an expansion. Look what Brad Holmes did. The first year he came in, expansion. Built that team from the ground up. Now look at where it's at. Close to a Super Bowl team, right? So it's all about drafting fundamental, and not only drafting fundamental, but to sign the right guys in free agency. Guys that fit what you're running and what you're doing. That's it. That embody what the culture is. If you don't embody what the culture is, then get the hell up out of here. Plain simple.
That's true. Bobo says 15-2 gets you in reach. Last year was a crazy thing with all the injuries and both coordinators on the way out. Yeah, I want to be in reach every year, but I also want to reach over and caress a Lombardi. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
That's all. That's all.
Ayo, Chef, you want the same thing I want, man. We
Right.
want that Lombardi. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about, championships. We already seen our basketball team get one. Our hockey team get multiple Stanley Cups. We didn't literally seen the Tigers win not Stanley Cups, but World Series.
I've seen all three of the Pistons ones.
Yeah, definitely. I seen the 04 one.
Right.
89, 90, 04. It's all banners.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the first round pick that we made, it fits well. I know we're going to get into the second round for a bit, but it fits well to be like, okay, we good. We set right there. The interior help is there.
Mm-hmm.
Next, let's go ahead and go get an edge. Not go and get an edge. But we didn't even have to go get an edge at 60. Want to know why? Because we were looking to go get guard.
Mm-hmm.
When we went and got guard, we drafted guard. And we traded that 60. You know, I traded that 60 pick, 57. We were up when they got Tate Rutledge.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a damn good pick.
Yeah, I have no problem with the Tate Rutledge pick. No, I don't have a problem. The only pick I had a problem with was the Isaac Tesla pick because of what we traded to go up and get him. So here's Easy should be getting on in a second. So there's something. There you go. All right.
Hey, what? Hey, what he say?
What is that? The light skin.
Yo, what up, Ease?
What up, man?
What up?
How are you,
What's happening?
fellas?
All right. We good. So we good.
Feeling
we
good, feeling good.
We can jump in. I'm gonna give you my hot take. I'm gonna give you my
Okay.
hot take. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
I believe that the Tyleek Williams pick came as a result of a need to get a person because Aleem McNeil is having difficulties with injuries. The last 2 seasons, he missed significant time due to knee injuries. I think he had an MCL sprain the season before last, and he missed 4 games. And this year he tore his ACL. So he missed the last few games of the season. He missed the playoff game, and he's going to miss the first 6 to 8 games of the season. Now, Aleem McNeil's been on the team 4 years, correct?
Yes, sir. It'll be 4 years this year, right?
So that was his 3rd year?
Yep.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So 2 out of 3 years, he's missed significant time due to injury. When do we start having the conversation about his health? And without Aleem McNeil being injured, do you think Tyleek is the pick, or do you think we did go and get an edge? So is Aleem also now affecting our draft strategy?
No. I mean, I can see how you got there for sure, but I don't believe so. I mean, there's other situations revolving like the defensive tackle position. Plus, I truly believe they go BPA. That's why we end up with the shockers like Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell. I mean, I like Jack Campbell. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if he goes, round 1 in a redraft, but
Right.
you got Levi, who's only in this 1-year deal. He's more than likely leaving. You got DJ Reader, who's also, I think, 33, 34 now, who also has only 1 more year left in his deal. And I look at Tyleek Williams. I kind of think he's the nose tackle version of what Aleem McNeil is. And he's more likely going to be your replacement. I'm sorry, I had a burp. I apologize. He's more likely going to be your replacement for DJ Reader more than he is Aleem McNeil. But I mean, I think the criticism, I mean, it's tough, right? You can't predict these injuries and whatnot, but I think it's a fair criticism and or observation of Aleem McNeil. He has been getting hurt the past 2 years, especially. But I think Tyleek was a BPA situation. They value the run defense more than anything, and I think he's phenomenal at that right now. He's a plug and play starter. He can start today, and if he develops down the line, or maybe even ready to go right now, depending on how good he is, maybe he helps you this year in terms of the pass rush and helping guys outside. I heard a lot of stuff you had to say about Davenport. I think they're all valid. I think he's only been available for like 40% of the games in his entire career. I think I saw
He's
somewhere
Joel
online.
Embiid.
Yeah, it's not great, and you shouldn't be counting on that to help yourself win a Super Bowl. But that said, this defense, when healthy, was very good still, and I don't think we could discount that. I think obviously you want to talk about Aiden Hutchinson having 20% of the team sacks. He only has 5 sacks, and he left the season early with the injury. Well, if he's able to stay healthy, those 5 sacks continue to tally up. And if you look across the league, there's other great players with the same percentage of snaps or same percentage of sacks for their team too. It's not the sexy pick, but it's not a bad one. I'll say that.
No, it's not a bad pick. None of these players are bad players. Okay. And I'm just here's my issue. My excitement level for these players is very low. I'm not excited about So excited. I'm not doing that for any of these players. Here's my question. And here's my philosophy. This is how I'm looking at the things. If you look at the Baltimore Ravens, right? If you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, if you look at even the Kansas City Chiefs, you can say their defensive line units are dominant. Okay? The Kansas City Chiefs defensive line unit is largely dominant because of the guy in the middle, Chris Jones, who can do everything. Okay? When is the last time you could say that the Detroit Lions had an alarm clock type of defensive line? And by alarm clock, I mean you set it and forget it, right? Hey, man, 40 sacks.
Last year.
No.
Last year. Before the injuries,
40?
last year. It
Who
don't
was
even matter
get-
about the sacks. Get the pressure of the quarterback and have him make mistakes.
Who was
last year,
giving you
for
that?
sure. Before the injuries, I would say last year. And I think you saw
Okay.
that in the first couple of games.
Okay. You got three guys. You got three guys only. I'm only giving you Hutch. I'm only giving you Aleem. I'm only giving you DJ Reader. Were those three guys set it and forget it, and you had a
Yes.
hole over on the other side?
It still was set up and forget it.
Okay.
Who played opposite of Josh Sweat last year?
Josh Sweat for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Who played opposite Josh Sweat?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Somebody
It
better than
wasn't a
Josh
big-
Pascal. you know what
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a big dang guy, but they got
But
two dominant
that's-
defensive tackles along with Josh Sweat. When I would say
Again,
Hutch is
two
up there with
dominant
Josh.
defensive tackles. You had two dominant something.
We got him. I mean, obviously, Tyreek, we're gonna find out,
Mhm.
and this will be his rookie year as well. I still think he's
Mhm.
big enough to demand double teams, 330. I'm saying that. I mean, that's good enough to do it. The thing I like about him too, man, he watches film. Like he's like
Mhm.
a lot. First thing you hear a lot of people say about him is instincts. And I don't know if they're as much instincts as they are. He knows what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why he's instinctive. He's I've seen this on tape 50 times
Mhm.
now. 50 of them times. I'm gonna get my hand up on this ball. He's got like 10 pass deflections.
Mhm.
I'm not tripping, man. I'm really not. This defense was really good last year when healthy. It's just, can they stay healthy? And that's a fair question with Aleem McNeil.
And that's my issue with, can they stay healthy? And then you have Aleem McNeil now, who I'm not gonna say he's entering the Marcus Davenport territory because he's only had 3 years. Okay, he could never get injured again. Right, he could never miss another game because we're talking about the first 3 years of his career. Marcus Davenport, you know what he is. You already know he's injury prone. He's gonna get injured. People like even the season-ending injury last year. They're like, "Oh, that was a freak. Somebody did it on purpose." Step back. Fine, no problem. What would it have been then? Because it would have been something. If it wasn't that, it would have been something else.
You were right. It was 4 years for Aleem McNeil and for the Lions.
Okay.
But I'm looking at him right now. 2021, 17 games. 2022, 17 games. This is the past 2 years for real.
That's
and
what
even
I'm
then,
saying.
he still made it double digits. I don't know. I'm not really.
He had 3.5 sacks when he left last season,
Mhm.
and that was what, week 14.
Yes, sir.
So let's say he was going to get you 2 more. So he would have had 5.5 sacks, which is what he had the season before. He had 5 sacks the season before.
Yes, sir.
Right. So it's just that. Like I don't have a problem with Hutch and Aleem, but then you're saying, okay, DJ's leaving probably next year, so we're going to say Tyreek is the guy. It's, for me, you have to have a guy that can win one-on-ones if he's got all that talent around him, right? Let's say Tyreek is a super freak. That rhymes, I know. I'm a poet and you didn't know it. Let's say Tyreek is a super freak. Okay, let's see Aleem comes back and he does what he does. So now you have to say, okay, pick your poison. Who are you going to double? Because you can't double both Aleem and Tyleek. If you do that, then you're going to have to single up Hutch and you're going to have to single up whoever else is on the other side. We know Hutch is going to win his one-on-ones. Josh Pascal's not going to win one-on-ones. He had 1 sack. Levi Onwuzurike is not going to win one-on-ones. He had 3 half sacks. So at a consistent rate, now you just, okay, let's run out the back. Let's run away from, my bad. Let's run away from all that. We're running away from Aleem. We're running away from Hutch. We're running away from the super freak, Tyleek. And we're going to run to the hole that they have in the defense. And it just so happens that this hole on the line is going to leak out into the rest of the field because it's on the edge.
You're tripping, bro. That's running the ball. Heck no.
No,
Like,
not
that's
running.
not-
I'm not worried about running the ball. Okay, I'm never worried about running the ball because we stopped the run. Right.
Yes.
What I mean by running, I mean, okay, if we're saying running, that's going to be Lamar Jackson. He's going to be out the back door. Okay, we already know that. If you're not over there winning one-on-ones, you're not stopping Lamar Jackson. And this is my biggest fear. We got Lamar Jackson, we got Jalen Hurts, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got all them dudes coming in. That's my biggest fear, right? So this is when I mean running out the back, I mean running the play that way, right? Whether it's a run, whether it's a pass, it's just the play. We're going to run the play to the weak side or to the weak link of what you have at defense. You know, that's my issue. If you've got those 3 guys up there getting consistent pressure, then you're also helping our secondary. You're helping Terrion. You're helping. Go ahead.
I think you're taking the step ahead though, where you're just like presuming like the injuries right there, and even with the weak link, that's not like you said just now. Like, you know, we're stopping the run, correct? Like you know.
Yeah.
So why are we tripping? If they're running a play our way, it's going to be a run. That's
you know why.
else,
You know I'm tripping.
That's them dropping back.
You know I'm tripping.
And like we talked about the Eagles, you couldn't tell me it was an opposite side of Josh Sweat, but we know they.
No, I didn't. I don't have to tell you because you had the 2 guys. You had Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in the middle, and then you had Josh Sweat.
So I'm
but the guy on the other side was better than the guys we have.
Well, you don't even know who it is.
But I know he's because I know the guys we have. I know
Hey,
Josh
I mean,
Pascal got you 1 sack in 17 games. I know Levi Onwuzurike got you 3 half ones.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to make a stop at the line of scrimmage, run or pass. Just make a stop. It's simple. When you're a defense, make a stop. If you don't, you're going to get beat.
I wish it was that simple.
It ain't as simple as like.
I mean, it ain't as simple, but you get my drift where I'm going, man. Like we gotta understand this. Like even with the Eagles having Josh Sweat over there was open opportunities for people to get to the quarterback from anywhere on the field. Linebacker, D lineman, it was open opportunities to do that. No matter if it's a mobile quarterback or a passing quarterback. The opportunity to get to the quarterback is to listen to the protection. Like Zadarius Smith said in that game against the Houston Texans, listen to the protection, and then you go from there. You listen to the protection, you're going to get what you want. You're going to get what you got to go get. You know,
where's
so
Zadarius Smith?
He's not here, but he should be. He should be back at some point in my mind. But like I said, it's all about a vocal focus of making a stop at the line of scrimmage. And I like you guys both point. You know, every single point that was made back and forth, it was real dialogue. And not only it was real dialogue, but it's open about not tripping about our defense. We're good. We're fine. We just got to make sure that we, huh?
You could tell him I watched them. It's okay.
I mean, but it's all good. We have a team where we can work from a 4-3 or any other spot. You know, we can work very well with our play style, no matter what it is. Get down with three technique, or work with a 9 Velcro, which is spread out wide 9, and get to what you want to get. So I mean, we got to do what we got to do. Make sure we get stops in week by week games. So it's fair enough.
I think everything you have as a concern I almost called you chef. It would be a concern.
Everybody does, you know.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
calling you chef. Honestly, I'm used to you being a chef.
Come on, man.
Like,
You
it's
can't forget
a
me, man.
legitimate
You can't.
concern in a scenario where people are hurt, but that's a concern for everybody across the league if somebody gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
It's a different
I don't
concern.
know. It's not anything like, out of the ordinary. You know.
It's Marcus
And I would
Davenport.
even-
It's out of the ordinary, bro.
But even
When
if
that- when
even
Alvin
if
Davenport
even
is
if
a
there's
dog, though.
even
When
if there's
Marcus
guys down,
Davenport is healthy, he is a dog. He's a diggity dog. We might as well call him Snoop, okay? Or Snoopy, or Scooby. Well, you know, we can call him all the dogs, right?
But yo,
Clifford, the
Chef.
big. He's more like a Clifford, right? Because he's big, right? But
Big red
how many
bone.
times a week, or I'm sorry, how many times a season is that dog gonna be able to come out and play? All right.
Well, that's why
He's a dog
I-
with
every
the
once in a
cone on his
while,
neck.
every once in a while, I'll say every once in a while.
yeah.
least.
And
That's
if,
for Marcus
you know,
Davenport.
if Ahmed's what we believe he could be, what I think he could be, and I think he could be this year, by the way, too. Like,
Mhm.
you got sparing snaps. It's going to be a rotation, and hopefully he's
Mhm.
allows him to be there for the long run. We also got the rest of training camp to come too. I don't think you force the pick because that's how you end up with Jeff Okuda, and who you hate, right? Detroit Lions trade Darius Slay. You know, Sheila Ford, or I'm sorry, Martha Ford was like, you got to compete. We're going to be without your job. Well, okay, we need a starting cornerback then. Let's grab the top ranked corner in this year's draft class. Not the best corner, just the top ranked guy. We're just forcing it, right? We're just going to grab a corner. Even though he don't deserve to go number 3, we're going to take the cornerback here. And what happened?
So you
Got
should have
burned.
traded up.
It was a reach.
You should have traded
That's
up
a
to number
reach.
one
It was a
and
reach.
just grabbed Chase Young. I don't, you know, both of them are Ohio No State players. So is Tyleek. And that's one of the, you know, that's probably one of my problems. All right.
Hey,
Now
Chef,
we know the real
I want to ask
reason.
this question, Chef. Before you go ahead,
Yeah.
please. I want to ask
ahead.
this question, Chef. What is your beef with Ohio State? I mean, I got beef with them too, but what is your real
I'm a
beef? with
Michigan fan. What do you mean?
them? Like, what is your real beef with they
I'm a
team?
Michigan fan. What do you
I
mean?
get it, but I'm saying like, out of these players, you think they're not really worth to be like beast in the league? Is that the beef? Like,
You
the-
know, so when I started podcasting, I had
Right.
to put that aside, right?
Mhm.
So I don't. Okay, I felt gross watching Tyleek Williams highlights because I had to like actually navigate to something that was Ohio No State and watch it. Right, I don't watch them unless they're playing Michigan. Right, so I felt gross. Other than that, I mean, if you're good and you can help my team, then I want you on my team. Jeff Okuda is trash. And it just, my hatred for him is fueled by him being trash and being Ohio No State. So, but he's trash. Like if he was good and he made me eat my words, that would be different. But he couldn't because he's garbage.
and that's not that's not a good thing. Like, really, it's not. You know, if you
No,
come
it's not
out
good for him to be trash.
right, it's not good at all. Like, you literally don't got like no game. Like, to me, I understand your point when you're beefing and don't like when you're beefing out with Ohio State. You feel that this college is not like producing great talent. Like, there's no sense of good talent out of that college. That's what you beef.
Quarterbacks,
Like,
yeah.
you don't
But,
like.
I mean, they got good players. I can't say they don't. You know,
Like-
and like if they so
Hey.
here's the thing. If they didn't have good players, there would be no beef. You're not worth my time. It's like saying like I'm beefing with Toledo. Like who cares about Toledo? I mean, shout out
It's not on your radar.
yeah, they're not on my radar.
Right.
Shout out what's his name from
Lucas.
Darius Alexander. Darius
Yeah,
Alexander,
I'm talking
Quinion
about,
Mitchell.
Quinion Mitchell, yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
Quinion Mitchell. You
Right,
know what
right.
I mean? I wanted Quinion Mitchell. But see, this is the thing, right? I'm pounding the table for Quinion Mitchell because he's okay, easy. Okay. Okay.
Hey, E said, you know what? I'm gonna one up on you with that. I'm gonna one up on you.
But I was pounding the
that could
table
help.
for Quinion Mitchell because it didn't matter. He played in the state I hate the entire state. But it was Toledo. Nobody cares about Toledo. Toledo's cute. You know what I mean? So I could pound the table for Quinyon and not have a problem with it. I don't lose my card. I'll never pound the table for an Ohio State player. Like, I'll accept it, but I won't. You know what I mean? I won't call for it.
You
What do
won't take it to heart.
Of Isaac Tesla.
What did I think about Isaac Tesla? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
How
watch
it went
any.
down.
How it went down was terrible. Okay. The pick or the trade, I understand. I listened to, what Brad Holmes said about it, about, when you have conviction about a guy and you go up and get him, and not a lot of these players are going to make our team. But why did it need to? So I understand he may be the Puka Nacua, but just as I was saying, set it and forget it. You have a set it and forget it offense, right? You have Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, J-Mo, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. You have those guys, okay? Jared Goff, okay? All right.
Hey, who drafted those guys?
Huh?
Who drafted those guys?
No, Brad Holmes drafted him for sure. I'm not saying that Brad Holmes did anything wrong. He's cooking, but do you need to go get a Puka Nacua right now when you don't have help on the defense? Like, I want you to be able to be, okay, I'm dominant on offense. Let me get dominant on defense, and then I can do whatever I want. Right? We're talking about Will Johnson. And what would you do if they drafted Will Johnson? And we could make a case that we should have drafted Will Johnson. Because are we dominant at the cornerback position? No. Right? Terrion Arnold was a good pick. And I've been a guy that defends Terrion Arnold. Right? I defend his coverage skills, great, sticky coverage, all that stuff. Just needs to trust his technique, get his head around. But nobody was saying, why would you draft Will Johnson? We got Terrion Arnold. That's crazy.
I mean, there were some people talking crazy.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, Will Johnson,
real sense.
hey, my bad. But at the same time, it's like Will Johnson was playing like safety.
Will Johnson was a corner, my guy.
Yeah, I know he was a corner, but like they looked at him like as if he was a safety or something like that. I don't know.
He would have been a shutdown corner in the league. I
think
that's
what they saw.
His fall was because of his injury.
Yeah, his knee.
Yeah, injuries.
Yeah, my whole beef with the Isaac Tesla thing was the draft capital he gave up to make the move. Yeah. Like, I got no beef with a Brad Holmes draft pick. Like, it's you more than likely gonna end up in the wrong side of history, with that one. And honestly, from what I've seen, like, this dude's hands are insane. Like, he looks like he could be, like I said earlier, like you said, Puka Nacua. Like, I can see it. My beef comes in where, if this kind of ties to the Ed situation too, is you're giving up 2 third-round picks to do it. Like, you just got done talking about Terrion Arnold. We like Terrion Arnold. Guess what we gave up to move up in the first round to grab Terrion Arnold? It's a third-round pick. That's the value of, and like the other thing too. All right, so the year I think we were closest to winning that Super Bowl, the trade deadline, I had a crash out. Everyone was making people were trying to shit on me for it, and all. I'm sorry for swearing on you. Whoops. People trying to shame me for it. I'm not ashamed to this day. If we grabbed an edge rusher at that deadline, I feel like it definitely would have made a difference for us in that run of the Super Bowl. But we didn't. You know who did? The 49ers. They got Chase Young. They went to the Super Bowl. You know what they gave up for him?
Third round pick.
Top story pick. Exactly what we gave up to get there. So my beef is when there isn't a clear-cut answer at edge, unless they truly, for whatever reason, and I can't assume they believe this because it's just ignorant and not smart to be honest with you, arrogant, if you will, to think that Davenport is going to be healthy or rely on him being healthy. Then you got to make a move maybe at some point. I'd rather stash that third-round pick, both of them, to make a move at the deadline, to make a move during the season, to get an actual guy that can jump in and contribute now. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Tesla, look, I have I don't want to say high expectations, but I think he could be a good player for sure. It's still a crystal ball. We've seen Brad move up to grab Broderick Martin. It didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, use that third pick for a proven commodity that's already in the league, already producing to help you win a Super Bowl. That's my beef. You gave up all that to get there, but you wouldn't do it in a Super Bowl season. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's my only beef. And I get the stuff he said too, like, hey, our roster's deep. I don't even know if all those picks would even make the roster. But you don't know. It was a bad trade, in my opinion. It was a bad trade. I like the player. Like again, maybe he's going to be special. But did you need to grab him? I'm saying, like, was it? You didn't have to do that. The offense was moving just fine. The offense was, unless you think he's generational, which obviously if I felt like that type of trade, you give up all that to move up in the third round. But I don't know, man. That's my only beef with it. And now we have to, hope and pray that Isaac Tesla becomes a Pro Bowler, because that's the only thing that's going to make that worth it, in my opinion. And I know they're just third-round picks, but we kind of went over the scenarios of third-round picks can help you out a lot, right? Chase Young, freaking Terrion Arnold, like they can help you out. And you want to talk about it being like a back half third round. Okay. Fourth-round pick. Let me check on Round St. Fourth-round pick. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like it has some value in some shape or form, other than moving up to get a question mark. That's my only beef with it. Thanks for coming on my TED Talk.
As I said, you know who my guy was, and he was there when we picked Tyleek.
Who
was my guy?
Yeah.
Can you tell the people who was my guy?
No, you tell me. I'm asking.
All right. The person that I was doing this for.
Please come home.
That was Jihad Campbell.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you. Make
Next
sure
time
you
we
hear the
ask
drop.
that though, Chicken Nugget King, we got to lie. So you
Huh?
we got to say, no, I ain't none. That was weird. Why'd you take that weird pause?
Like it, like I'm like literally like I'm like,
It's
what
too late
the
now.
hell? Like, what is going on? Like, what is like? Please, home, come on. I'm like, man. I'm like, now I'm thrown off. I'm done.
That's what I wanted. And
Jihad Campbell.
Jihad.
I mean,
You complain about Liam's injuries. He's already dealing with them.
bro, Brad's gonna draft somebody injured anyway. If we look into these guys, go down to the UDFA, somebody probably got an injury. I mean, we signed a UDFA, was in college for 6 years. Why was he in college for 6 years?
Who?
Jacoby.
Oh, man. That's a great question.
Right? He played 3 games his freshman year, didn't burn the red shirt, so then they redshirted him. Then he played 4 more years at Eastern Washington, and then he was a grad transfer. He played a 6th year at UMass. And UMass is the only place where he had any production.
He looks like a dog, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, his 1 year at UMass outproduced every year that he had at Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
To get like combined, you add them all together, and it's less than what he did at UMass. So I think Jihad Campbell was a difference maker, and this is what I was saying. So when Justin Fan asked the question, or I asked the chat, I was like, "What do you guys think about the draft? What are your grades?" So he says C+ to a B- because there were no difference makers taken. Now, if you want to say that Tyleek is a difference maker in the same mold as a Jihad Campbell, or as I said, Mike Green went to the Shannon Sharp School of Journalism, allegedly.
That's crazy. You leave on God of this. You don't know anything about that.
I know where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a whole lot of smoke.
Yeah, there's smoke, but it might be a certain situation. I mean, we don't let freaky ass Unk be. He is
All
messing
right,
with trouble. That's what got him in trouble, messing with something crazy.
bro, you 56 years, man. 56 years old. Just get married. You know, you talking about all the young dudes and what you got to do to protect your money, but you're running around with OnlyFans models.
That's fair.
You know, he was believing in his own hype, but it was too untrue. I gotta get. I used to know the whole, like all the lyrics. I forgot the line. Anyway,
Yeah, but you forget we're also old. People listening to this might not even know where that's from.
shout out Lupe. He the homie. Even though he's from Chicago, he the homie. You know, he's like a professor of hip hop at some university in Chicago.
I can see it. He looks the part.
Yeah, lyrical genius. But anyway, Tate Ratledge. What was your take on the Tate pick?
I think he developed into something nice, man. To be honest with you, like run game wise, I mean, sheesh, that could be dirty. My question is the pass blocking at this level. I think he's athletic enough to do it. I think we got the great offensive line coach to help make it happen. It might end up being a home run pick, to be honest with you. It really might. And I wasn't necessarily always high on him, but that's partly due to my fault because I just was leaning too much through other people's eyes on the assessment for him. Like, I mean, we did the breakdown this show, or on this channel, I should say, LNU, with Scott Bischoff, and he was just kind of saying, you know, he's a little too aggressive, where you know he whiffs on blocks every once in a while. And I saw a little bit of that on tape, but then if you go back and listen to it in the context of what the Detroit Lions grab at offensive line, that's what they want. they want somebody that's ultra aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Try to slam in the dirt. That's why Dirtbag Mahogany became a thing, right? That's a nickname now. So it's like he's perfect fit. And I think he might compete for the starting job. I don't think he get it right away, but I think he'll compete for it. I think Graham is just too nuanced in pass blocking, and also we got a complicated run scheme. Like we're in a zone, then we're power, then we're running power gaps. Like typically teams usually only run like one of those things. We ran all three. That was a bit Johnson, so maybe that changes. But no, I think he'd be a starter. And I think for Jameer, man, he's probably already counting $20 million after that draft pick for real. Seriously, I mean, dog.
I would not. What am I saying? I would not disagree. Yeah, like I said, I didn't have a problem with the Tate Ratledge pick. I am not a big offensive line guy, so the things that I'm looking for is just basically your strength and your ability to, you know, hold your blocks without holding and all this stuff. I'm not even going to say that I'm technically terminal with the terminology of offensive line, because I'm just that's not my level of expertise. You can talk to me about corners, safeties. You can talk to me about running backs.
In high school, we get it. You were skinny.
I wasn't.
Guy.
I wasn't. I was not at all. You know what I'm saying? Your boy ran a 4.3. I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I thought it was a good pick from the limited highlights that I did watch from him. You know, he looked solid. You know, I know that there's some development that he has to do, but I mean, you're picking basically pick 60. I mean, it was pick 57. No, second round, end of the second round. Yes, you're gonna have some things that you're gonna have to develop. There's a reason that you got picked there and not, you know, top of the first round. So that, you know, that wasn't a shocker to me. But like I did say, I was doing the Cat Williams. Okay. With the Isaac TeSlaa pick, I was doing the Cat Williams. I was like, let's get up on the line, boy. You know what I'm saying? I literally was doing that. And then the trade was for a wide receiver, and I was done. I was done with the draft. I didn't even cover the third day of the draft. So I don't really know too much about the last. How many picks did we have? 7?
We have Miles Frazier after Isaac TeSlaa. He's more of like a pass blocker who can develop as a run blocker. Scott Bischoff, who was on with us earlier, who'll be on tomorrow at LNU as well, so he might become a center. He plays over at LSU. Yeah. He's played all 4 positions on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something unique. And I think he's a really good pass blocker. Did you look into that at all, Chicken Nugget King, Miles Frazier?
Yeah, I think he's done great over in LSU. He did play alongside with like Makai Wingo because that was his teammate over at LSU. That's
Sure.
that's a hell of a good thing. And he's a monster. I think he's definitely a steal, just
Big
like
balls.
how Tate is. They definitely gonna bring it. And I don't know if either one will be like a a replacement for Graham Glasgow or whatnot. But whoever is gonna be that replacement definitely gonna step up big time because you got Tate Rutledge, Panay Sewell, and you have a nice start. You have a nice offensive line with what's my man's 68 Decker out
Taylor
of
Decker.
Ohio State. Taylor
Out of
Decker.
where? Where do you go to school?
Oh hell no, State.
Oh hell no, State. Right there, right there. He went there. I mean, it's like it's just gonna be good to have those guys to play for our offensive line, and we need that kind of stuff. We need young, fresh legs to be that out there. Whether if they play center or guard, they're gonna step up and contribute right away. Because we got Christian Mahogany too. By the way, he's definitely gonna do some things too. And I love our front office. I love our front office doing jobs, doing like not a job, but doing the good job that they done by going to get two guards. I mean, did I like it? No, at first, but I understood and I sit back and I thought like, okay, how did they do this? I think that they did this to make sure that we could set up for an edge later, not just right then and there, but for later.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, too, I like the competition fact of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Graham Glasgow, like on a personal level. Like he's a dope dude. And honestly, he's been pretty good professionally too. But last year, we saw some moments. I don't know whether it's injuries or just due to old age, but he was slowing down a bit. And now you get the motivation of that last year for him. But also now we got this young guy named Tate Radledge. And Graham, I hope you're listening. He's gonna be on your ass. And you have to fight for your spot now. But then you got Tate
Pause.
Radledge, who thinks he's a young guy, hot shit coming in. Boom. Here goes Miles Frazier. Now it's a three-way, triple threat match. And they all got to bust their ass and make it work. These rookies got to get in the playbook now, too. And Miles Frazier, I mean, you were, what, 4th, 5th round pick? That means you got to get your ass in the book because you don't have the leg up like Tate Radledge does. They traded up for him, in the 2nd round at least. So I just love the competition aspect of it. I think they did the same thing in the cornerback room last year, and it brought back the best out of even some of the old heads. Like Carlton Davis had his best year in a long time up to the injury, obviously, which he can really avert. But it doesn't matter. When healthy, though, was a dog. I think Graham might have that same effect this year if he wins out. But, yeah, I like getting guards. The fact that we let go of Zeitler, I wasn't too happy about.
If there's one thing I will say is that I'm expecting Ragnow to have a hell of a year this year, too. That's what I'm expecting, too.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, he has him every year. He's a dog. I love Frank Ragnow. See, your head
What are
looks
the
just like
leaks?
the Ohio State guy. Peanut head, and I'm playing.
Hey, look, it's a cool peanut head, man. I'm all right. I'm blessed.
I'm enjoying it. Bam.
Alrighty. So I'm never gonna be upset about them going offensive line because I understand that it's where our bread is buttered, and you're looking at who we have in the backfield. You got Jameer. You want to let that dude cook, and you want to be able to give him as much room as possible. So while I'm talking, I'm sitting up here. I'm just gonna look away from the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, now you beefing with the mascot.
Hey, the mascot, the stadium, the whole entire, you know what I'm saying? The whole entire state, bro. It ain't just the mascot. If you're from there, I got a problem with you.
Hey, look, I ain't from there.
I understand you.
Come on now.
You couldn't. I understand you couldn't control where you were born, but man, you just got to take your parents out and start kicking so that they drive across state lines, and you can be born somewhere else. That's all. So any unborn babies over there, no hell no. Just take that. Go kick and drive them in a different direction. Anyway,
It's not he's not talking about kicking babies or something.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
now
saying the
see now.
baby's got to kick the mom's stomach and direct her somewhere else from the inside. That's what I'm saying.
This is getting
When they
crazy.
See
start
now, Chef.
kicking, you know what I mean?
Now, Chef, you gonna have some
When-
lawyers at your way, man.
I'm just saying, look, this is how you do it. This is I'm talking to all the unborn babies out there. No, hell no. You start kicking, right? And they think that she's in labor. When you get to the hospital, no, hell no, you stop. You stop kicking, right? You stop trying to come out. So then they take her home. And then you do it like 3 more times. And then they'll get the idea like, hey, maybe I should go somewhere else to another hospital somewhere else. And then you can be born in Michigan or, even Wisconsin. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Anyway, I'm never gonna to crash out because they drafted offensive line. It's, and especially the job that Brad Holmes and we call him Brad Campbell have done with the offensive linemen that they've gotten, and then they got Hank Fraley over there to coach them up. So I never really have a problem with that at all. Because if you don't have an edge rusher, you're going to need to keep your offense on the field as long as possible. So that's what we're looking at. A pick that I did actually like, once I actually looked at him, what's his name? Lovett.
Yeah, Dominic Lovett from Georgia.
Well, Dominic, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. He looks
I
like
love it.
he could be our Tyler Lockett type of player. And obviously if he makes the team, he's gonna have to make it through special teams, because where else is he gonna fit? You know what I mean? Where else is he gonna fit on this roster? He's gonna have to work himself into. I mean, that receiver room is stacked. There's not a lot of space for him to play. But yeah, I would lean more towards him. I know he's a smaller receiver, but I would lean more towards him being effective on our roster than what's his name? Tesla. Hoping he doesn't turn into a Pinto. For those of you who are too young to know what a Pinto is, just Google it. So because like he doesn't have any production. He is, I understand, but he doesn't have production. He's got the catch radius, he's got, the hands and everything, but I just think Lovett playing in the SEC, he's used to big time competition. He made some tough catches in traffic. So I really like his game. What y'all think? You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I actually haven't dove that deep into his tape yet, to be honest with you. Here's what happened, and maybe I should, and I will actually. Not that I should, but I fell in love with Antoine Green like 2 years ago. I fell in love with him, but I had some expectations, and he burned me a little bit. So that's why I'm like, 7th-round pick receiver. The receiver room's kind of deep. I didn't know if it's gonna happen necessarily, but I'm gonna dive into that one. I did watch Dan Jackson today though, and I was even just thinking like.
What are we doing?
Hey, look, man. hey, ease. Chill now. hey, that is a handsome, beautiful peanut head. That is a beautiful peanut head. That is a great one. Where did you even find that picture? For starters,
I just googled cute peanut heads.
This
Hey,
is a very plausible moment.
Yeah, that's pause. That's pause. That is an open pause.
Plausible moments brought to you by the start button. All right.
we gotta get an advertisement for plausible moments. Brought to you by Dude Wipes.
I'm literally dying laughing over here. It's too funny.
Yeah, we need to trademark that. This has been a plausible moment. Back to the regularly scheduled programming.
No, but Dan Jackson, I was looking at, and Another one of them psychopaths, man. A crazy white boy. I'm being honest with you. Like
Mhm.
skinny, looks skinny as hell, but like he's flying down and taking on blockers like he's a dang 240-pound linebacker. It was kind of crazy to see. And then this tad bit, I'm a steal from Brad Holmes, and I think it sums it up clearly, right? Georgia. What first thing you think about when their success? Defense. Okay, so Georgia typically has that Kirby Smart defense. It's a brand name in college football right now.
Mhm.
You know what calls a play is the safety position. For the past 2
Mhm.
years, it's been. I'm sorry, last year it was Dan Jackson, and
Mhm.
so like to be the brain trust of a brand name defense at that's winning championships in Georgia. That's a guy you probably want in your backfield too. Is going to make a lot of smart plays. And if you want to like, you're a little bit hesitant on the production and from the years of it, I should say, just know he was a wide receiver turned safety, and so the
Mhm.
position is also fairly new to him. We also have another wide receiver turned safety. I'm not saying he's going to be this man, but he's also having him turn
No.
out being the highest paid safety in the league. That's Kirby Joseph. So I'm not telling you he's being Kirby Joseph. That's not it at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, as a reserve guy, a backup guy on your team, that's what you're getting. And a special teamer too. He's gonna put his nose in it. Pause. He's gonna be a dog.
See, I don't really like the Georgia thing too much. Here's why.
You were just hyping up the Eagles.
No. Here's why. Because we're competing with Howie Roseman. And you know the guys he's gonna pick. And you know the guys we're gonna pick. He's gonna pick them first rounders, and we're gonna pick them in the
grab all
seventh
the
round.
white guys from Georgia.
Exactly.
Now what?
There you go.
You got the white guy grabbing all the black dudes from Georgia. The black dude grabbing all the white guys.
Exactly. Right. So he's picking all the dogs, and
Yeah,
we're
though.
left with the scraps.
I tell you
know.
what though, it's working for Howie. So Brad's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Bump this Alabama stuff. Let me go to Georgia real quick.
Well, it's working for Howie, but also what's working for Howie is taking a little gamble on the character a little bit, Yeah.
Honestly,
this-
man, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's about time they gotta make that decision because we got enough strong character guys where I don't think one bad apple is gonna spoil them.
Bro. Okay, so here was another frustrating thing. The Atlanta Falcons, we can laugh at the Atlanta Falcons. We can be like, aha, they're so cute. Ha ha ha. They do dumb things. The Atlanta Falcons have been to a Super Bowl and almost won one.
Yeah, but not with this regime.
Not with this regime, but in their history.
This regime been a clown show.
It has been. But they recognized their need for edge rushers and they did it.
Yeah, but you can't compare this regime to like when that was like damn near 10 years ago. Like they're
But I'm
bad.
just saying,
They are a
I'm
clown
saying-
show right now.
They're a clown show, but they recognized. Did you not
What
think
they
that
done with it? They did nothing with it.
bro, they went and got two like in the first round. At least they tried to address it.
Yeah, okay, but they had that regime, that group of humans
Mhm.
haven't been to a playoff since like 2017. I think Matt Ryan was on the
I'm
team.
just talking about the picks. Okay, I started off with but what I'm really talking
Yeah, that
about.
was a bad comp. Yeah, that was.
Okay, what I'm really talking about is Jalen Walker.
Yeah, that one was work.
All right. Let's just rewind that. All right, just cut that out. Edit it. All right. And we're talking about Jalen Walker, and we're talking about James Pierce, right? The aggressiveness to pick Jalen Walker in the first round at number 15, and then to trade back up into the first round to take another guy, which if they can avoid whatever issues that he had, okay, then they got two really good players at that position. Right? They traded up where to get James Pierce?
Well, that was one of the worst trades I've ever seen in my life.
The James Pierce trade?
Pick 26. They gave up a first round pick
Mm-hmm.
and then some to get the pick 26. Where pick 25 that just went before them went for like three third rounders.
I didn't. So I felt like people were, and I know you said earlier it was the Brad Holmes tax. I felt like people were using different trade models, right? Because it was like even Jacksonville trading up to number 2, they didn't give up that much.
No, they
right?
didn't.
And then it was like the next trade that got made. You were like, what? Why'd you give up all them picks? Like Jacksonville moved up from 5 to 2, right? The value of the number 2 overall pick has to be much higher than. I think it was like who was the next trade? It was something crazy. I was like, why did
What?
they?
For
I
Jacksonville,
forget what it was. Hmm?
in the draft, and for by the Atlanta pick, which by the way, we still got to see if that works out. We can't just be praising them, but we got to see.
We
it come to
can't,
fruition.
but I'm just saying
But
they made the
right
attempt.
before them, New York traded up to grab Jackson Dart, and they gave up like 3 third-rounders for like a first-round pick, and then Atlanta gave up a first-round pick and like
Yeah. So
2
this is what I'm saying.
fourth-rounders.
Like, who was, I wanted it, but this one was because the speculation of Kayvon Thibodeau, maybe he gets traded or whatever, and I thought that was
Mm.
silly once they got my boy. Shout out, Abdul Carter, he the homie. But once they got Abdul Carter, it's like no way you move, because now you're in the position that the Lions want to be in. You got 2 bookend edges, whether you have them for 2 years or, or
What am I
whether-
witnessing right now?
I don't know.
What
whether
am
you
I
have 'em
witnessing
for-
right now?
Well, my man over here screen grabbing. Whether you have them for 2 years together or whether you extend Kayvon and you have them for a multitude of years together. But I mean, Sexy Dexy, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. That's a set it and forget it. You know what I'm saying?
But no, you can't just give them that brand. They haven't been a set it and forget it.
Okay.
Last year
Listen,
that they had.
I'm talking about that one.
Huh?
I'm talking about that line that they have right now. If
We don't know that yet.
Abdul Carter, if Abdul
Last
Carter
year
is
they had Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence,
Mhm.
and they Brian Burns.
Brian
Everyone's
Burns,
like, oh,
they got him.
Oh.
They got him still too, right?
yep, they do.
Okay,
They got,
good.
and they added Darius Alexander there too. But guess what?
And then you added Abdul Carter. Come on, bro.
But guess what? It wasn't a set and forget it defensive line last year. And it had some, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
But
more than just
everything
the
else-
names, and we can't be giving them these set it and forget it without seeing it first. Remember when Philly was a dream team?
On paper,
They had like
Yeah, the
Nabi
dream team.
Asomugha, Mike
yeah,
Vick,
dream team.
and there was like,
And they
oh,
won like 4 games. They were like 4 and
yeah,
12.
you know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
can't. Coaching matters, man. We got it. Well, we got new coordinators, and we probably got to see that first. But I think we got it.
Coaching does matter, but
And,
it's
and
the
like a lot of these
pursuit.
guys, like they're draft busts for a reason. Like we don't know. Like as much as
Mhm.
Abdul Carter, I think he is great off the line. I think he's got
Mhm.
Ben. I think he's got Twitch.
Mhm.
Jadeveon Clowney. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta see him produce first before we,
True.
take our hats
True.
off to him. But you're right. I mean, I think now they might be a set. I forget it. Like, I think it's up there.
Mhm.
I think it can happen for sure. But I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna praise anyone until we see it, and we saw it
Mhm.
from us last year. We really did up until the injuries.
Which happened in the second game of the season, or sorry, the third game, because you missed the second game.
But they were still dogs, and then we lost Hutch, and then we lost Salim.
No, once we lost Hutch, it was over.
Yeah,
As far as getting to the quarterback, there's been manufacturing of pressure. There's been blitzing, and I think we're gonna see. And that's why I thought we would get not an Abdul Carter. That's why I thought we would get Jihad Campbell, because you got Coach Shep as give him his linebacker, just like you gave Antoine Randall his receiver. Remember how happy he was when they got JMO? You got to do that for Coach Shep. You got to give him somebody. Come on now.
they got him big Tyleek Williams. Shep likes him. Dan likes him. You'll like him. He just it's not a sexy pick. We'll be
No.
good. As long as Hutch
It's
comes back
fine.
to Hutch, we're fine. Honestly. And if it's
Yeah.
not Brad, I'm on your bald ass head, boy. Hold on real quick. That's not even me saying that. Brad, I'm gonna you up, Brad.
You know,
Okay.
I'm on your head, Brad. You don't make the damn move we gotta make. Signed off by Chef.
hey, you know one thing about it though. You know one thing I did catch on with Abdul Carter is that he tried to get Lawrence Taylor's number, and Lawrence Taylor wasn't having it. Like he was just not
You gotta
having it.
prove it. Show me you deserve this number. I'm not just giving it to you. If I give you my number, I'm retiring my number, my legacy, and you're sorry. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
we gotta see it.
Yeah, action speaks way louder. It's just the root of it. Like you got to really prove your actions in order to play and get that respect. You got to play hard and work hard day in day out to get that number. You know, because that legacy is Lawrence Taylor's number. That's his legacy. That's what he cemented out there on the field. And Abdul Carter got to earn that. You know, even Chef knows that. So at the end of the day, the players got to product and play hard and get it done. Either way, they're out. They're either bust or they just don't work out.
He probably just didn't like, he's used to, he came from that lineage of number 11 at Penn State. So he just probably thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just switch it up a little.
You thought, punk.
Hey, but but last I checked,
you switching, right?
but last I checked, my man's Micah Parsons had it too. Parsons had number 11 not too long ago when he was with Penn State.
Penn State.
LeVar Arrington,
Navarro Bowman.
So many guys had that number.
The sticks.
Yeah, it's like the number 1 at Michigan.
I didn't even know that until Abdul Carter got drafted. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know anything about the lineage until really Penn State ain't really doing nothing. I mean, they did this year. I guess.
What is it at number at LSU? Is it number 8?
Number 8. And I guess it wasn't like a set in stone thing until Mekhi Becton wore it. It was just like it was common known, but it wasn't like, they're letting whoever wear it. It just happened to be a lot of 8s wore it and did well.
I'm not so sure, but number 3 was a good number 2 over in LSU. Number 3, and then Kyren Lacy. Excuse messing up the name. But Kyren Lacy, rest in peace, Kyren Lacy. But yeah, 2 and 3 was a good number at LC at LSU too. So yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. That's I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't want to talk and that, but rest in peace to him. It's a shame what happened because he was a dog.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And he played wide out.
Mm-hmm.
Played wide out. Crazy good.
Real quick before we wrap up, I missed it when you guys talking about Ahmed, or at least like briefly, whatever, or Ahmed.
Ahmed. Say it, Ahmed.
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 No.
Ahmed.
You making
Ahmed.
It's Ahmed.
Ahmed.
No, there's no. I'll teach
No,
you.
look, I say Ahmed. I just say Ahmed.
That's not his name, though.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach y'all how to pronounce his name. Ahmed.
Ahmed.
See, you're doing the. That's a different letter.
I feel like that's the thing.
That's a different letter. So Ahmed is ha. You're saying ha. These are different letters.
You just said hot and ha.
No, I said ha and ha. Okay. I lived in the region for 15 years. Okay. I speak the language. So I know what I'm talking about.
I'll say it again.
What, the letters or the name?
The pronunciation.
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
There you go. Yeah, it's better.
I'm gonna knock
Yeah.
Like hey, look, I'm gonna need Rosetta Stone. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna need Rosetta Stone.
If you ever talk to him, call him Hamada. He'll be like, oh, because this is like, if your name is Muhammad or Ahmed, which are derivatives of each other, your nickname is generally Hamada. So if you call him this, he'll be like, oh, how'd you know?
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah, because like
how to say my goddamn name. All right, that's what I want.
but overall, yeah, it was like I said before early in in the show, like talking with Chef is like it was real cool to talk to his brother. Like his brother was very excited to want to be here, and he definitely prayed that his brother would be here and his brother would really have a chance to showcase what he can do and play hard, and showcase that he's a good player and he can bring that high motor the same way Aiden Hutchinson brings his high motor. And he's gonna learn a lot from the front seven for sure. He's gonna learn so much from that defensive line and from the coaches, and he's gonna sacrifice, 100% sacrifice. That's what he does, and he did that out in Boise, and he definitely could do that here.
Yeah, I'm really excited about. I don't, man. I really haven't watched a tape like that. Just listening to him talk, watching like the combine stuff, listening to Sean or Scott talk about him. Like, I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
feel like you really might end up being like, I'm not saying like a star in the sense of like the National Football League,
Mhm.
knows him, recognizes him as one of the best. But I feel like he might just be a problem. Like he's gonna be an annoyance. Like he's gonna be not maybe a playmaker, but a disruptor. You know what I'm saying? In the backfield, rushing throws, stopping runs.
Mhm.
Dude, he's been in the States for 5 years, and he
Right.
made it to the NFL. That's insane.
Very-
Mhm.
Like to just pick it up and just go like that. Yeah, it's wild. We talking to Scott today too, and his brother was listening to the show. I don't know if you watching Chef or listen, but he was in the
Yeah, I
chat.
was.
He had mentioned like everything he said was true. You know what I'm saying? Which okay, you mean to tell me this guy's not playing football right, and he's just still got drafted to the NFL? He's still got 12 and a half sacks as a collegiate football level. I'm saying like it's I don't know, man. I'm
So
getting
I'll
hyped
tell you
up.
something.
I mean, it's literally. Go ahead, Chef. You go. Then I go.
So when I was in Caltech, I was dealing with IFAF, which is you guys will learn about IFAF in a couple of years when you see the Olympics. When I was there, I had the opportunity to go to Egypt, and my business partner, he actually went. I didn't go because it was during the Arab Spring, and I didn't want it in my passport because I was like, I'm already an American dude living in the Middle East. I don't need, I don't need that. But they had a program over there called Football Without Borders, and Marshawn was there. So one of our players went with my business partner, and he met Marshawn, and he did some drills with him, and he was running, the camps over there. So I believe that Ahmed probably went to one of those camps. I don't know if it was at that time because that was like 2014. So I'm guessing if he was 2014, how old would he have been? 10?
You're muted. He's
So you asked me to do math. I don't do math on air. That's like a rule for me.
I don't know how I don't know how old he is now, but I'm guessing he would have been around 10, 11. Right? Because he's probably 2021 right now.
He's 22.
Okay. So then he would have been 12. So he could have gone. He might have been at that camp with Marshawn, but that would be crazy if I had gone over there and I'd actually seen Ahmed at this camp, and then he winds up being a Detroit Lion 10 years later. So
I can't wait, man. I really like. I don't know. I got faith in somebody to do the things he did to, in life. Really, I mean, what it's like going somewhere not speaking the language. It's
mhm.
tough. This dude came here, not spoke the language, and succeeded. And like people come here and start businesses, it's tax free and all that stuff like that. He came here and became one of the 1% in 5 years. Like
Mhm.
off athletic traits and hard work. It's I don't know. It's impressive.
So would it be safe to say that you're
So excited!
So I'm what?
yeah, you heard it.
he heard that.
Don't even
He
try.
heard that. He definitely heard that. But to me, I think it's more reminiscent of Ziggy Ansah. Ziggy Ansah, because Ziggy Ansah used to, tried playing football. He like tried playing football or whatnot, and he got good. Came out of college, out of some college that's like not really like popular like that, like BYU or whatever, whatnot. And he
Mhm.
was very good edge, very star-studded, knew how to get to the pocket, be disruptive, and everything and more for the defense playing here. So I think it's kind of that kind of, look from, the outside looking. Like with Ziggy Ansah, I definitely could see it, but it's not really the same type of game, but it's a different type of level with them two. Different players, different type of guys. But I will say that when Ahmed gets a chance, yes, and Chef, I will read, Rosetta Stone. I will. Don't get it twisted. I will. Now, I feel like with this player, he's gonna be a dynamic player, and he wanted to do everything and anything, whatever role it is, special teams, coming out there to play on third down, whatever. That's what he wants to do. Just make a stop and just make his coach proud. That's it. He literally said it on like a video, like, look, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like, I'm gonna like literally like on a live on the field for you. I would, for sure.
What happened?
I don't know what happened.
No, I,
Okay, he's
no,
back.
I did either. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, you messed up because you mentioned Ziggy Ansah, and Ziggy Ansah just couldn't stay healthy. But that's not why you messed up. You messed up because the guy that we could have taken after that crazy trade was a guy named Landon Jackson.
So,
You know what his pro comp was?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Ziggy Ansah.
Oh wow,
Oh,
that's a guy you line
Hey,
up wide.
ouch.
He could definitely do
Ouch.
some damage. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chef, I appreciate you for that. Definitely
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
He's got no bend though.
Yeah.
But he can clap his pocket. I would have. Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. I probably would have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now. No, I'm not. Nope, never mind.
No, go ahead and say it.
No, I
Say it.
don't mean it. I don't mean it.
You don't mean it.
All right, I'll say it. You want me to say it?
Okay, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Okay, of course you're gonna change it to me.
Yeah.
Or
All right. I
Just
think
did.
I'd rather have Landon Jackson than Isaac Tesla. Just for how the team is as is, and I think you put him in certain situations where he could crush it. I don't think he is going to be like a superstar or anything like that, but like his athletic traits are, I mean, they were top of the class. You know what I'm saying? Like amongst top of the
Mhm.
class. He don't got the bend. That's why I didn't do no 3-cone. But you look at his 10-yard split. You look at his
Mhm.
bench reps. Look at his broad jump. Like he's explosive. He just can't
Mhm.
bend for real. But if you line him up out wide, let him eat. And that's gonna be my new tagline because my name's Chef. Let him eat. That's my tagline. That was a great take. That was a great take.
well, yeah, I don't agree. I don't disagree with my take. So
Yeah.
I'll take that one. All right.
Let 'em eat. That's good. That's a good one. You keep that.
So what are y'all grades for this draft?
Ooh, it's
Because
too early for grades.
the trend is you got the score gave him a C, maybe C plus. I know Mel Kiper gave him a C plus. We haven't been graded high. So your initial knee-jerk reactions to this draft, what are your grades? Obviously it is too early. It's always too early. Okay. I'm not even gonna lie. It's not too early to talk about Broderick Martin not panning out. Okay. He's had 2 years. I don't think we need a third year.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, I
Um,
think he's good as gone.
I think
Yeah.
he's gonna be great.
The problem is we don't sound the same. So
Problem is we don't. I can't. Yeah, no.
Nope.
Say something.
Nope. Can't
Nope.
do me. Pause.
All right. Yeah, let's wrap this thing up.
So what are your grades? Your initial knee-jerk reaction grades?
So if you're born in Ohio, you gotta kick the baby. Yeah, you gotta drag your mother across the state line and kick her ass. Beat the bitch ass.
hey. Lawyers, I don't want to be sued.
Hey,
Beat the bitch
I'm not I'm not I'm not gonna disagree with you there.
Draft grade for this year.
Yeah.
Man, it's tough.
Initial
It's
knee
really
jerk
great,
reaction.
but- Initial knee jerk reaction. I'll be honest with you. I'll go B.
Okay.
I'll go B. I think a lot was made up. I think Tyler East is being a good player. I don't think he'd be an all pro. I don't think he'd be like all this other stuff, that other people, or I don't know if other people are even saying that. I don't know if he'll be any of that. But I do like Tate Ratledge. I do think he starts for you at some point in his career. I think Miles Frazier is a great backup just because he could play so many positions. And he's a great pass blocker. And I do think Isaac Tesla, if not, something dope because it's Brad, I think he'll still be something productive for you. So I'm gonna go B. Because if you're drafting that late, working with that type of capital, with the real expectations. When Brad was cooking, he had great capital. He had the Rams early picks and ours.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be
Chicken Nugget, what about you?
Right now, I would rather say a C plus. Right now, C plus. Now, once it gets to the season and these guys ball out, it's definitely gonna be a B plus. But I would say a C plus right now.
Okay.
I'm the pappy.
I am going to I'm gonna say C. And the reason is just exactly what Justin Fan said earlier when I asked him about it. I agree wholeheartedly. I just don't think that there were any difference makers taken. I don't care about the difference maker on offense because, again, as I said, our offense is already set it and forget it. Unless you were taking a very, very unexpected difference maker like a Jalen Milroe, who I said we should have drafted so he could be our tush push specialist. Anyway, and we had the opportunity.
I actually love that take.
Yeah, we had the opportunity. Could have been ours,
We could
but
put, like somebody out there for tush push. I don't know,
bro, we
It'd be
could have
solid.
taken him instead of Tesla.
Well, I mean, okay, I wouldn't do that.
We could have.
You'd rather have
he went in
Jalen
the third
Milroe
round.
than Isaac Tesla.
What is Tesla gonna do? Like,
What is
so
Milroe gonna do? He's a career backup.
he'll be a tush push specialist. At least he'll something, bro. Look, we're talking about a dude that we traded up all these assets for to be a special teamer, and he's gonna maybe he's a Tim Patrick. A Tim Patrick replacement.
Tim
But he's
Patrick
not
was
Tim
good.
Patrick this year, right? So that was more so for a next year where you might have been able to get a dog-ear dog than him. And then a dog-ear dog. And did you really, with all the other receivers, what was that dude's name? Savion, was it?
Savion
I think
Williams.
Savion Jones, something like that.
There's
Yeah.
two Savions in this class.
Yeah,
One's-
Savion Williams, I think, was the DE.
Yeah. Williams, Jones, which one? Wherever one was.
The one Jones, I think, was the I don't know, bro. One of them.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, Savion. I know you're talking about.
Savion, okay?
Mhm.
Like he's a Debo Samuel clone, but a little bit faster, right?
Right?
So somebody like that, where you could get freaky in the offense and move him around and all that. I just feel like it was more impactful. Obviously, if this was my offense, that's the type of player I would have taken, especially with all the weapons that we have already. Right now, you got a guy that can line up anywhere in the offense, and you never know how he's going to get the ball or what's going to happen. So there's a lot of window dressing. There's a lot of, if he truly is a weapon, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to him whenever he's on the field. So, the Jalen Milroe thing is like, yeah, you could have got him. He's going to be your tush push specialist. Apparently, I mean, he was a really good passer, but he was just inconsistent. So again, he's your tush tush push specialist now. 3 years down the road, he's sat behind Jared Goff, and maybe he is a good NFL passer, right? And he
Mhm.
doesn't need to be a great NFL passer because he's also got the legs, right? So then he becomes a dual threat. I'm just saying
They
the
all got
potential.
legs.
Yeah, the dog got legs. The
Yeah, he got
potential,
nose.
the potential for him, I think, is higher than whatever Tesla is going to give us. But yeah, so I'm just saying C because, like I said,
Hey,
I'm
I got
not
a question.
excited.
I got
about
a
any
question,
of it.
Chef.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's like off of our team, but like with the
Mhm.
Seahawks, do you think he's gonna win that like starting position over there in Seattle?
No. They didn't draft him to start. They drafted him to develop behind Sam Darnold. You know, all he needs, they say that dude might be faster than Lamar Jackson. So if you got a guy that's faster than Lamar Jackson and he's also bigger than Lamar, like he can put his shoulder into you, you know. And if you fix his passing, you develop him as a passer. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They want that weapon, and that's why they drafted him in the 3rd round. If it doesn't work as a passer, then he's still going to be able to, you know, wildcat whatever type of stuff that you want to do to put different wrinkles in your offense. But no, he wasn't drafted to start at all.
Okay. Milrow,
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah,
I
that's
think
crazy.
Milrow. I think everything you said, Chef, is exactly what Milrow is. He definitely can run. He could be used. He could be useful for the Wildcat or the tush push. That's what you could really put him out there for, honestly. Like, but I don't see him being a starter just yet. You know, I think he's gonna develop his game, like you said, develop his game, get better, and then work on his passing, and then he'll definitely be out cold for sure if he gets down the passing down pat.
Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. Um,
What'd you say?
where-
What?
Here.
Me?
All right. So, do we have any final thoughts? Unless y'all want to keep talking, you know.
I'm good. I gotta actually get to work. But
Yeah.
thoughts. It was good talking to you boys. How about that? We always talk about doing this at LNU. We never really do it. I'm glad we finally did tonight. Chicken Nugget King, you
Yeah.
killed it. Chef, you killed it as always. And go Lions.
I'm available every Monday, bro. So you know. Just
Hey.
come on through.
Same,
Yeah.
same. But my final thoughts is, man, let's get ready for this season. It's gonna be great. Go Lions.
There we go.
My final thoughts is I'm gonna try to get to the point where I'm,
So excited!
you know, but I'm not there yet. But I'm trying it.
It's tough, bro, with the 50 tackles and guards. Like, it's really tough for real. But I watch some Ty League. You'll like it. Like, just watch them, and stuff will start clicking in your head. I also need some stuff for Isaiah Tesla. Isaac, I mean.
Like my guy, his production is like 28 receptions and 532 yards.
Yes, because
6
Jalen Milrow
touchdowns.
Jr. was his quarterback. Can't nobody throwing the ball for real.
I mean, and he was going to get some inaccurate passes. So
Yeah.
you know,
Zero
I'll give
drops
him
in
that.
American passes too, which is like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just didn't. We didn't need him.
I'll say this one thing actually.
Mm.
And it ain't, and I hope like diehards aren't listening and this never held against me because like he might be good. I do think he could be good.
Mm.
But Brad this dude wasn't even on his radar until the Shrine Bowl. Like they didn't even really dive deep into the tape. They just saw the Shrine Bowl, liked the traits, and was like, okay. Like what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You trade two third-round picks to do that?
Right. And he's from Michigan. So it's like he was in state and wasn't on your radar.
Brad was like, yeah, these white people gonna love this. They gonna buy it. Tickets. I got no white receiver now.
I think you know what.
Call him Megatron.
I think what Brad Holmes was doing is he was just he was like, I know y'all want an edge rusher, and I know. And then he got right to the space where he could have drafted an edge rusher, and he said,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
"Okay, that's what he did."
He's a villain.
You know,
He's a villain.
and so now we got the Tesla, and we hope he doesn't turn into a Pinto. I'm more of a Kia man myself. You know what I'm saying? My EV is Kia. No,
DeLoreans.
No, I'm jealous.
DeLoreans. You're missing out on DeLoreans.
I do have an EV now. It's charging up right now.
You like it?
Yeah, fantastic, bro. I ride by petrol stations or gas stations. They call them petrol stations here. So I ride by gas stations and just laugh.
When you say gas station, do they know what you're talking about? Or like some people selling farts?
I think they understand it, or if they don't, they're just kind of smiling and nodding. Like, what is gas?
What do they call? What do they call pop there?
Soda. I think we the only ones that call it pop.
How can you say it in their accent?
I can't do an Australian accent. The only I can do my name's Keith and this is my car. This is something I saw like when I first came here, when I first married my wife, it was like a commercial or something on TV. That's the only Australian accent I can do.
Wait, so do your kids have an Australian accent?
Okay, so my daughter does not. My first son, his accent is like Australian, Somali, American. All his friends are Somali. So and then the last one, it's hit or miss. Sometimes he says American things, sometimes he says Australian things. So it's very mixed. But the funny thing is my kids have never been to the States, and my daughter sounds like an American.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's because of you.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious. I couldn't imagine my son had an accent. I'd be making fun of him so much. I'm like, what do you want? This cat? You want some
Good day,
water?
mate.
Yeah, I can't. So that's the thing. It's like if I try to do one, it just turns British.
Yeah.
Good day, mate.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good eye. I'm getting a little bit more ability to do it because this is the longest time I've been here. I usually been in and out of here, but I've been here now for 2 years.
It's been like, I'm about to say, it's been a minute now.
Yeah.
I won't even come to like Australia till like next year, and I'm already knowing that accent.
Okay, were you coming to the game?
Say something other than good day.
Oi, CA. Oi, oi, oi.
Nah,
But yeah.
that ain't it.
But
Yeah,
I try.
Always teasing around with a bit, taking a piss, you know? It's like,
See, nah, that's British.
But
That's
yeah,
British. Yeah.
but yeah, I won't be there till like next year.
Right, you come
with
to the
family.
game.
next year.
I hope I come to a game.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Thank you.
I hope I can come to a game down there.
But so the thing about it is, and then the things that we don't realize, right, is they have different acts, just like us. We got different accents from certain parts of the
Different
states. So they have different, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, because when I used to teach English, so there was at times we were using Cambridge materials. So I used to teach for this test called the IELTS, which is basically an English language proficiency test that they have to take when they go to university and stuff like that. So the lady on there, she was supposed to be Australian, and she had this accent. And I used to tell my students, I was like, this is the worst Australian accent ever. This isn't a real Australian accent. So come to find out, I'm talking to somebody from Tasmania, and
She was a Kiwi.
well, no, a Kiwi is New Zealand. So from Tasmania, and this was the accent that this woman had. I was like, wow. I've been telling people all these years that it is a bad accent, but it's a Tasmanian one. Right. And they do have Tasmanian devils. They just don't spin around and spit.
Well, I don't think you've seen a real one then, bud.
No,
Because they definitely did.
we
I'm joking.
we haven't seen the real ones.
Hey,
We've seen-
I take that as a Looney Tunes reference.
Then you haven't seen the real one, mate.
yeah. There you go. You're getting better.
All right,
You're getting
I got
better.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's had to brush it off a bit. I was just taking a piss with you before. I feel like
See,
when they talk,
when
sometimes
you
it
get
sounds
to
like everything's a
start, when
question,
you
yeah.
get to taking the piss, then it starts to go British.
why don't they take the piss? I was taking a
No,
piss.
they
Dang
do.
it.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about
Let's
taking
go
a
out and
piss.
get
Right?
pissed, boys.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Right. So I used to work in this school in Qatar. It's called Doha Academy, and we had this British Somali teacher, and we had a guy who was our academic coordinator. He was from South Africa, but he was like Indian South African. So it wasn't like a black South African or a white South African, right? So we were in a meeting before the school year started, and he was talking about like kids leaving the classroom, and like you shouldn't let the kids leave the classroom unless they have a valid excuse. So she raises her hand and she's like, "Yeah, but what if like one of the kids is taking the piss?" And he was like, "Yeah, if they're taking the piss or they need to take a piss, let them leave and go to the bathroom." We were just up in there like cracking up underneath our voices. It's like this dude didn't know what taking the piss was. So
Taking the
I'm-
piss.
yeah, it was funny.
What if they say it
All
too
right.
for getting drunk? Like, oh, I was pissed last night.
Yeah, so taking the piss and being pissed is different.
Are they ever pissed off there? Like, oh, I'm pissed off. Or no?
That's a question. That is a question. I don't
Like, when
know.
they know what you said, they'll be like, "Are you drunk or like, you know?"
I think
don't know.
pissed off is a thing. I think
Okay.
pissed off is a thing. There's
Like the
also
same thing
taking
as
the
us,
mic.
though? Taking the mic.
Huh? Taking the mic, yeah.
Oh,
Which is the same as taking the piss.
taking the mic.
Yeah.
You taking the mic at me? That's
Yeah.
bad.
Something like that. I don't know.
You know, all right, I gotta go because I have to work. But
Yeah.
the Alberta accent in Canada is like the funniest stuff to listen to. It's
Okay, I'll check that out.
But
Canada,
all
eh?
right. All
All
right,
right,
mate.
y'all.
How you
We
say?
All right, brother.
shall all check on out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. We've been on 2.5 hours. Appreciate y'all again. Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not statics. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your lines news pragmatic. And me and the two chicken nugget kings are out. Peace.
Hey, peace.
See you guys.